Hello everyone. Welcome again to the software carpentry session today. Yes, I'm let me introduce myself. I'm Juan. I work at EPCC at the University of Edinburgh, and I will be the instructor of the course. Also, Jose and Tom from the University of Cardiff will help out with the course in case that you have any questions or you need any help. Yes, please feel free to let us know. I will switch off my camera, otherwise my laptop will complain that is too much work. And I will share first a presentation, the introduction. So yeah, as I said, it's a software carpentry course that will be online from from the 2nd until the 5th of November. Also, this is important to know before starting the course. We will put in place the ARCHER2 code of conduct that is similar to the software carpentry or the carpentry's code of conduct. The idea here is that please use a welcoming and inclusive language, build respectful of different viewpoints and experiences, also accept constructive criticism, focus on what is the best for the community, show courtesy and respect towards other community members. In a nutshell, be kind each other. The schedule is the course will start every day at 10. We will have a morning break at 11:15 and a 15-minute break, and then we will continue with the second part of the lesson of that day. In case that you have any problem, for example, tomorrow is installing Git, or on Wednesday to install Python, please feel free to connect before 10, because we will be around to help you with the installation. So from 9:30 to 10 will be to solve installation problems, but if you see that the tool is already installed, please feel free to connect from 10 a.m. Questions? As well, normally for when we are in face-to-face, it's easier to raise your hand, or because the helpers will be around, you can ask them questions. But in this case, that is an online version of this workshop. The tools to ask any questions are, please feel free. Well, if you want to use the voice, please click and raise a hand. That is, this is on the bottom of your screen. That is a person with a raise hand. So if you click on that, I can receive an alert, and yes, I'll give you time to unmute yourself and ask a question. Also, we have the Blackboard Collaborate chat that is inside this application. That yes, please feel free to use it. So okay, this is the course page. If we go to the schedule, we see that to the time we have a automating task with the make. So if we click on that, this is what I will follow today. This is the lesson that I will follow. So first, what we need to do is, if we click in the setup, they explain you that you need to download that file. What I will do is I will copy the link and paste this in the collaborated chat. And also something that, so okay, what I will do is I will follow this material. What I will do is I will share my terminal, and you will see me typing the commands. I forgot to mention that at the bottom of your screen, you have, if you click on your, well, the picture of your, or the, that is is my status and settings, and there you can give some feedback if you agree, disagree, if we are faster, surprised, happy, etc. So you can click on that, and I'll keep an eye to just to save, just to see if I'm going fast, slow, or please, any questions or any feedback, type it in the chat, and I will keep an eye on that. So let's start with the, well, okay, let's start with the introduction. Here, what I would like to give is the motivation of, okay, why do I need to learn Make, or why Make is needed? Is because you may know some scripting like a Bash or, well, Python. We will learn a little bit more about that on Wednesday. But why Make? What is the motivation of learning Make? So what I will do is, I mean, essentially, Make, the important things are is if you have a, you work with some files, and you generate, imagine that you generate a plot, or you generate a study from these files. If the source files are updated, you can rerun your script and generate these files. But if, for example, the files remain the same, the source files remain the same, and you run the script, you will not generate the new files because they are already generated. I mean, this could, I'm not sure if I explain myself correctly, but we will see an example, and you will understand better what I meant to be to say. So okay, let me share the another window. Mm, so it takes some time to. Uh, okay, I think it's. Can you see now my terminal window? Great. So yes, what I will do is, okay, I will explain by using an example what I have already mentioned, or the motivation of. Oh, okay, now it's. Yes. So. So the idea here, if you go, well, what you need to do is first go to the directory where you have the lesson. The lesson is where is make lesson dot zip. So well, no, I have a uncompressed lesson, but if not, what you can do is you can type unzip and the name of the lesson and execute that. Okay, I will do that. I will first remove the directory. So it's unzip, make a lesson.zip, and you can unzip the lesson. Also, for example, if you are Windows users, or well, you have a guide, what you can do is if you double click on the file, you can extract the content and access this content. So what I will do is I will move to that folder, doing a cd that is a change directory, make lesson, sorry. And if you type ls, or you will see that you have a folder that is called books. That if we can see that this folder contains several books called Last, Sierra, Isle, Abyss, and we have three Python scripts that are count words, plot count, and test shift. So what I didn't, what we will study here is we will study the shift law. The shift law says that the most frequency occurring word occurs approximately twice as often as the second most frequent word. This is the shift law. So we will execute these Python scripts to see that if that's correct or not. So if let's use the first one, that is count words. So to use that, we need to type Python, the name of the script, that is count words, and then the first parameter will be the book. So the book will be books. We will use that one, il.txt, and then we need to write specify the output. That will be il dot that. So if I execute that, I see that we have a new file that is called il.dat, and I can see the contents of this file. I can see, for example, to read the first 5 lines of the file, I need to type head -5 and the name of the file, il.dat. So you see that, for example, the word that are most repeat is D, that is 3822. The second one is off, that is 2400, etc. So you have the five words that are most repeated in the book. Also, if you want, you can do the same. Instead of using the il.txt, you can use another file. So yes, I forgot to, I didn't introduce the meaning of the third column. The third column says is the number of occurrences as a percentage of the total number of words in the text file. So is the third column is for the first term, that is a D. More than 6% of the words that appears in the book are D. For off is 4.3%. So it's the percentage of the words. So we have a use il.txt, we can use another book. So if I type Python count words, books, let's use abyss.txt, and I need to specify the output, that is abyss.dat. If I execute that, I can get the same for that book, -5 abyss.dat. And you see that, well, for example, in this case, the second most repeated word is and, that is, also, 2807, and the percentage is between 4 and 5%. Also, in case that you have issues running this Python command, don't worry about that. Please feel free to follow this to follow this lesson, and in the break that will be in at a quarter past 11, we can see what is happening, or well, you can chat with one of my colleagues, Jose or Tom, and they can help you with the setup. Seems that yeah, some of you may not have installed Python. Okay, so I will let's continue. For example, what also now that we have this file, what we can do is we can plot the results and create a graph. So if we use the other file, well, let's type a Python plot count.py, and you need to specify the file that we have already generated. That is I.dat, and here you specify the format of the output. You can specify the ASCII, and if you execute that, you see that okay, you have in text mode, you have a plot of this of this uh, of this study. Also, you can instead of specifying ASCII, if you specify show, this doesn't work with for all of you. I mean, sometimes there is a library that is not installed and complains about that. What I can do is I can share the window that is generated with that. You see that executing that, we can create a plot, saying the word counts, and for each word the number of counts. Okay, let's go back to the other window. And also what just yeah, to see the other what we can do with the other script. I will the other script is, well, to execute that is need to type Python test zipped.py, and there you can specify the files that you want to show. That you can specify we have avis.dat and il.dat, and there you can see the ratio of the first and the second word. I remember that the zipped law said that the ratio is 2. So, for example, if the first word appears or is repeated, let's say 5,000 times, the second word is close to 2,500. So here we see that the law is yes, is we say that is like let's say close to 2. But yes, you see the second well, the first column is the book, the second one is the number of the count of that the first most repeated word appears, in the third column the second, and the ratio between both of them. So as you can see, what we have done, the workflow that we have followed is to read the data file, that in our case is the book, perform an analysis of this data file, write the analysis, plot the graph, save the graph as a picture, make a summary table, etc. So you see that you have a workflow, and what you can do is you can create an script to do that. So, for example, to create an script, you can use okay, I will use the text editor Nano, but you can use anyone that any text editor that you feel comfortable. Also, you don't need to. Well, this is like an example and a motivation. You don't need to, let's say, to follow this. So if you just pay attention to the screen, that's fine. In case that you get lost with one of the things that. So what I will execute a nano run pipeline. This is the name of the script that I will generate. And what I will do here is I will, to save time, I will copy the contents of the lesson that I will copy them here. So you see that the workflow is as follows. Is first we count the words for these two books. Then we generate the plot for these two books. And then we generate the summary table. And this summary table is saved in the file results.txt. So if we save the file, clicking pressing Control O and then Control X, I can execute that bash script, typing bash run underscore pipeline. And then just, well, if we cut results, we'll see that, yeah, we have that table generated. So things that we have with this file, I will show again the file. Okay, see that there are some, let me check the chat, see that there are some, okay. Yeah, there is an issue with a Python installation, but okay, so what we see here is first using a bash script. Each time that you execute that script, they will execute these 5 commands. But imagine that, for example, mm, you want only to execute, you want only to generate the plot, and you don't want to execute these two first lines that count the words. What you can do is you can comment these lines, but this is not a very elegant solution. Or for example, only one imagine that you find a typo in one of the books and you want to rerun the script. So this script will rerun for all the books that you have here. So that's also not very elegant. So what we teach here is we teach make. So with make, when you run the script, you run only the necessary parts that you need to execute. If some parts are already executed, you will not run again, because, okay, here we have two books, but imagine that you have 20, 100, 1000. To run the script will take some time. Imagine that it takes 20 minutes. So if you modify only one book and you rerun the script using make, it will take seconds rather than minutes or hours. Make is also used to compile software that is written in the C, Fortran. You may have seen that before, and some compilations could take hours. So using make, what you can do is, yes, you can save time just compiling the parts that have not already been compiled, or etc. So what we will start is we will see by example how to create a make a file from scratch. So to do that, I will close this file. Okay, we see there's some messages in the chat. So okay, let's start by a sample of what I have seen. Okay, let's create a file that this file will call make. We will call make file. So let's use again nano. Nano. And the name of the file is yes, will be a make file. The first. Well, here in the sample that we use yeah, the M is a capital M make file. So here we have the file that is blank, and okay, we'll explain step by step how to create a make file. So first, what is good to have are comments. How to type comments in in a make file. So if uh, you type the hash key, and then you can write the comment. So what we will do is count. Oh well, you don't see count words. I'm not sure if you can see it okay because it's like a green font with like a darker background. But yes, the idea here in this line is we introduce a comment. Well, yeah, I see that there is a question in the chat that is what is the advantage of using a Nano over V or Emacs? Actually, I mean, depends on. It's up to the user. The user should use the editor that feels more comfortable. So, for example, if you learn to use VI, VI is available in our normally in our terminal, so you will not have problems using it. For example, Nano should be installed, so you may find some computers that have not available that software or Emacs. Is it depends of the. I mean, you should use the one that you feel more comfortable. For example, in my let's say my personal my let's say my personal take normally use Vim, the VI, but for example Emacs I don't feel comfortable using it, or now for this lesson it's recommended to use Nano because it's easier from the point of view of the user, but it's I mean it's up to you. And also if you can use here I'm using a terminal editor because you can see what I'm writing, but also you can use a notepad, you can use any other editor. Also, it's possible, there is another question, say that can you open any editor from the command line, like Sublime? Yes, if normally to do that, you will not see it, but for example, okay, I will save this file with Control O and Control X. For example, you can, this is another editor, and get it, if you type that, you will see that a new window is open with that editor, so you can use that. I mean, about the editor, please feel free to use any one that you feel more comfortable with. I'm using here Nano, but yes, you can use any one that you feel. So, okay, let's start creating the maker file. So first, what we want to create. So it's let's say the target. So we want to create aisle.dat. That file contains the count of the words. So this first part is called the target. Then we type a colon, and after the colon, we will type the dependencies. So the dependencies are to generate this file, what we need. So what we need is the book. So we will type books slash aisle.txt. And then here, well, then you click on enter, and you type here the what you want to execute. That in this case is a Python count words dot py. Why? What we have executed before. Books slash I.txt, and the result that is I.dat. So just to repeat, the first line is the comment, the second line contains the target, column, the dependencies, that in this case is only one, and then you have a Python where the line that you want to execute. So if we save that with the Control O and Control X, to execute that you need to type make, and you will get that you will, well, in my case I get an error that the make file missing a separator. Also, they give you a hint that they said, did you mean a tab instead of 8 spaces? Stop. I remember before you didn't receive any help with that, and you receive only a missing operator, and you had to figure out what was happening. What is the mistake that I have done here? Here, to indent this line, I need to use a tab. I cannot use spaces. So if I press the key tab, that's the right approach. Please don't use spaces here to indent this line, otherwise you will get that error. So if I save this file and I execute again and make, well, we receive that that is up to make. So let's remove. Sorry. The thing is, we need to remove the files that are that ends with dot dat. And if I type make again, you see that that line is again executing the. I see that there is an error said which command is not found. Make is not. In case that when you execute make, you see that the command is yes, this is okay. If you type a make and you receive a message, an error message saying that the command is not found, is because you needed to install make. Some operating systems have already installed make, but some others not. So you need to what I will do is yes, you can follow this lesson, and then you can install it during the break. Or well, one of the helpers can. So yes, this is when I type a make, I get this execute, and then we can see that if we do ls, we see that the file il.dat already have been generated here. And for example, now if we type, this is the advantage that I wanted to introduce before. If we type and make again, they will say that that file is up to date. What that means that it will not execute again the script to count words. In this case, the script takes less than a second and doesn't matter if you execute it again or not. But imagine that the script takes half an hour. So it's better if, like in this case, make say, okay, you don't need to execute that. You don't need to execute that because it's up to date. What makes make do does is if you type ls minus l books.il and then the file that we have generated il.dat, you will see here that the book, the last modification date was the 27th of June of 2018, and this file has been modified, well, just now. So, checks the modification dates, and if this file, the modification date is more recent that the dependency, make is not execute again. How can we change this modification date of this file? We can run, if we execute touch and the name of the file, the name of the dependency, that is books.il.txt, we update the modification date. So if we execute that and we see again the times, we see that the book has been updated, and you see that this date is more recent than this other one. So if I execute make, what do you think that will happen? So if I execute make, what will happen is you will see that the file is, we will generate again the file. Why? Because the make detects that the file has been modified after the target was generated, so runs again the command. So let's continue with that. Okay, let's we will open the make file. So if we type a nano, or for example, you can use VI or Emacs, but sorry, Emacs. But yes, for this lesson, I'm using a nano make file. So what we can do is we have this for one book. We can type the same for the other book that is called abyss dot that is the dependency. Sorry, the target. The dependency is the book. Books abyss dot txt, and then don't forget to type the tab. We'll write again the Python command that we need to execute to generate the count words. So if we will type a Python count words dot py books txt, and then what we want to generate is that. So if we type on that, we type that, Yeah, hopefully will be well everything. We save the file, we Control O, Control X, and if I execute make, they will say that I.dat is up to date, so we will not execute the second uh, line. Why? Because by default, if we open the file, by default it will execute only the first target, that in our case is I.dat. If we want to execute the second target, that is abyss.dat, we need to specify that. So if I type make abyss.dat, you will see that this target is executed. Also, I forgot to mention that for the name of the make file, we have called it make file. So, but you can use any other name. For example, you can okay. Let's copy this file. If we do cp make file, let's rename. Let's say my make file dot. We can also specify dot mk or whatever. And we want to execute that make file. We needed to type a make -f, and then we specify the name of the make file. That in our case, we want to execute my make file .mk. So if I type that, the make file that you will execute will be this one, rather than the make file. Well, we get that output, but yeah, we can see later an example where we can use different files. This is useful, for example, if you have I don't know, a make file for compiling, another make file for if for any reason you want to have several make files, just to let you know that you can have several of them by using renaming them and specifying them in the command line as a parameter. Also, what this is in well. mm, For example, if we have let's open again the make file. Here we have a target for, we have the target aisle, the target abyss, but what happen if we want to execute, we type a target that doesn't exist. So for example, if say make, I want to generate the same for the book called last, you will get this message: make no rule for make target last.dat. That means that yeah, this target doesn't exist. That you need to specify that. Also, what is useful for because you can see that we generate these files that are called .dat, but imagine that you want to clean the directory, or you want to do a copy, etc., and you want to get rid of these files. It's useful to add to the make file to add a target that is called clean. So you call it a clean column, and in this case it doesn't have any dependencies, so yes, you leave it blank, and then you type a tab and you do rm, sorry, remove rm start.dat. In the documentation said that yes, that you can use -force dot that, and now you save the file. Is Control O, Control X, and if you execute make clean, you remove the files that have been generated. But now if you do ls, you see that the files that we have generated are not anymore. Also, we can edit this and add dot and also the pictures that the plots that we have generated. That is the file extensions PNG. So we save and we close and make a clean, and we see that we also remove these plots. But for example, in this case, imagine that you want to create a directory that is called clean to have, I don't know, to have, imagine the scripts that are clean or the scripts that are, for any reason you want to, so let's create this directory, mkdir, that stands for make directory clean. And now when you execute make clean, they say that make clean is up to date. So we cannot execute any longer this target. I mean, what happens here? Here, the text that clean, the target clean, exists in reality. If we do ls, we see that there is a folder called clean, and checks the date, and they said yes, it's up to date, so I don't need to do anything. So for this target, what we need to do is the following. Let's edit again the make file. What we need to do is, because this is well, it's called in the documentation is called a funny target. So here we type a dot and in capital letters funny, then a colon, and then we need to type the targets that are funny. In this case, is clean. What does mean that that means that the target doesn't exist in the reality, so you don't build anything. So if we save this file with the Control O, Control X, and I execute again, make clean, you will see that now we can execute the target, even though even if we have a folder or a file that has the same name as the target. So what else? Okay, what we will do to see if you have if you have any questions, or if you what we will do is I will I will share the other screen, and you will see what we will do now is a challenge. Give you some time also to catch up with the okay, I will share my other screen. Mm, sorry, yeah, so not quite fast to. So what? Okay. What I didn't. Sorry. To do this challenge, what I would. Sorry, I didn't explain. Seems that is needed to do the challenge. Let's open the make file. For example, here, if you want to execute, if you want to execute these to get these two targets, what you can do is you can type, let's say, that column and the names of the targets that you want to execute. So as a dependencies. So you type il.dat and avis.dat. So if you have something like that and you save, if you do make that, you can execute these two targets because you see that that is the target, but the dependencies are il.dat and avis.dat. So you go to you go to these files, and the thing is like a dependency graph. To execute this target and execute this other one. And also it's a good habit because this is not a file. It's a funny target. We need to add it to this line just in case to. So we save and we have that. So now, okay, let's move to the challenge or the challenge exercise. I will give you some minutes to solve that. Well, here this is the dependency graph that I mentioned before. So to execute that, you need these two files, il.dat and avis.dat. And to generate this file, there is a dependency that is this one. So when you execute that, you this is the dependency graph. So what I will do is I will give you 10 minutes to follow this exercise, and then we will have a break. After the break, we will solve the challenge. So it's yes, you have until quarter past 11 to solve the challenge, and then we will have a 15 minutes break. Also, please, if you have any questions or you have any issues with the software, please let me know, and we can help out with the installation. I see that some of you have some issues, so we can address that now. So yes, time for a challenge and for a break.